Namaste, yogis, and welcome to our yoga class focused on the theme of freedom. Let's begin by coming into a comfortable seated position. Rest the hands on the thighs, close your eyes, and just begin to tune into your breath. Begin by noticing without changing anything. And let's draw our awareness to the theme of freedom. Freedom from our relentless stream of thoughts. Freedom from the weight of our moods. Freedom from struggle. And freedom to move within our body. We often carry tension not just in our muscles, but in our minds and our hearts. But through the breath, through movement and awareness, we can create space to release what binds us, space to soften, and space to move with ease. As the poet Rumi reminds us, why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Throughout today's class, I invite you to step through that open door, to let go of resistance and to experience the ease and the lightness that already exists within you. And in the words of Krishnamurti, to understand freedom is not to seek it, but to be free. So let's begin moving toward a deeper sense of freedom, one breath at a time. Take a deep inhalation and let it go. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Feel the rhythm of your breath and begin to elongate the inhalation and the exhalation as you float your eyes open. Walk your left hand out to the left. And on an inhale, sweep the right arm overhead and to the side. Keep both sit bones grounded into the mat and feel that you're breathing into the right rib cage. You might be able to drop the left elbow closer to the earth. Maybe it rests on the earth. But keep both sit bones grounded and breathe. On your inhale, rise up and simply change sides. Walk the right arm out to the right, and on your inhale, sweep the left arm up and overhead. Connect the sit bones to the earth, and then take a few deep breaths, feeling the expansion in that left rib cage. See if you can begin to create space between the ribs. Maybe dropping the right elbow just a little closer to the earth. And on your inhale, come back to center. Open the arms out to a T, broaden the chest, and then drop the hands. And let's extend left leg to the left. Pull the right sole of the foot into the left inner thigh. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And as you exhale, take that right hand, wrap it around behind your back. Maybe it comes all the way around and finds the left thigh. Walk the left hand out to the left side of the body. Take several deep breaths here, and with each breath in, feel that you're creating a deeper expansion through the side body. Just like in our first seated pose, maybe you're able to drop the left elbow closer to the earth, or walk the left hand away from the body just a little more. Even relax the ear to the shoulder. Now we'll come into our second arm variation. Extend the right arm up and overhead. Maybe you can move a bit deeper here. And as we stay in this side opening pose, you might feel that the right side of the body begins to open and expand. And if that happens for you, you can walk the left hand out just a little farther. We oftentimes get very bunchy in the obliques, so this is a nice opportunity to just release that. Let's take that right hand and drop it down to the earth. Come onto the right knee, reach the left arm up and overhead, coming into a modified side plank. This time stretching the opposite side, stretching through the left side body. Ground the pinky toe edge of the left foot into the earth and extend all the way through the left fingertips. Stay here for another breath. And then let's slowly release, coming back to the sit bones. And we'll simply change sides. This time, right leg extends to the side of the mat. Pull the left sole of the foot into the right inner thigh. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, drop the left hand down behind the back, or maybe reach it all the way around to the right inner thigh. Right hand walks directly out to the side of the body. And then give yourself permission to rest here for several breaths. It takes some time to create space and expansion. And so much of that process is simply unwinding the tension that we've coiled so tightly in our minds and our bodies. You'll notice that I'm relaxing my right ear to the right shoulder here. So just see where you can let go in your body. Find some place to let go and surrender. And at the same time, keep the left side body expanding and opening. On your next inhale, reach the left arm up and overhead. Maybe you can walk a bit deeper into the side bend. Imagine releasing any resistance that you feel in the body as well as in the mind. Freedom comes when we let go of what we're struggling against. Let's let it go in our bodies. And now drop that left hand down to the earth. On an inhale, reach the right arm up and over as you come into a modified side plank. The pinky toe edge of that right foot will plant firmly on the mat. Left knee rests on the earth. And as you exhale, slowly release. Come onto both palms, onto hands and knees into a tabletop pose. On an inhale, drop your belly, open the heart. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale, open. And exhale, round. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, round the heart up into the upper spine. On your inhale, come back to a neutral tabletop pose. Extend the right leg behind you and then reach the right toes off to the left corner of your mat. Gaze over your left shoulder and once again, feel the expansion in the side body. Right side of the body is opening, hips stay level. And then come back. This time we'll extend the left leg, take those left toes off to the right side of the mat, gaze over the right shoulder, take a breath. and then let it go completely. Notice those exhalations create the space for deeper, fuller inhales. Come back to center, and let's extend both legs behind us. Press back into a downward facing dog. It's our first one, so pedal out the feet. Take a few moments here to settle into our first down dog. Sink the heels to the mat. The heart moves toward the shins. Sit bones reach up to the sky. On your inhale, step forward and lift halfway. Clasp opposite elbows. Create a soft bend in your knees as you rest in this forward fold. And then release the hands. Begin to roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. Come into standing. Roll the shoulders back. Step the feet to touch. I'm going to turn to face you. And from here we're going to come into a tree pose. So I want you to ground the left foot into the earth. Feel it really sinking into your mat. Place the right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh. Open that right knee out to the right. And as you inhale, extend the arms overhead. Focus your eyes on something that's not moving. So one point of focus, a dristi, an internal gaze. This is another path to freedom. Focus on one thing at a time. And now let's drop the right wrist to the right knee and just begin to side bend over to the right. Left arm reaches up and over. Don't be surprised if you fall out of this. You can come right back into it. Just keep sliding the right wrist down past the knee. Maybe you go as far as you can until you do fall out of this pose. Give yourself that permission. That's another key to freedom. Be playful, be light. Don't take yourself so seriously. Let's come back to center, and then we'll just change the direction of our side bend. Drop the left hand down, right arm reaches up and over. You might not go as far this way, that's okay. We're just playing with balance, being light. And then reach the arms up and overhead. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, pull the hands through your heart center. Release the foot down to the earth. And then we'll simply change sides. This time, right foot will be the foundation, so feel that right foot grounded into the earth as if it's growing roots. And then we'll place the left sole of the foot either to the right shin or the right inner thigh, anywhere besides the knee. We don't want to put pressure on that knee. Find your balance here, and then inhale, grow your tree, reach the arms up to the sky. Once again, find your dristi, your focal point. Now let's come into our second arm variation. Drop the left wrist to the left knee and reach the right arm up and over, and just begin to slide the left wrist down to the knee, maybe past the knee. Right arm reaches up and over for a side bend. Remember to stay light and playful. If you fall out of it like I did, just bring yourself right back into it, taking your time, never rushing. And then let's change the direction of that side bend. Just lean the other way. Left arm up and overhead. And then we'll come back to center. On an exhale, draw the hands through your heart space. And let's release the left foot down to the earth. Take a deep breath in. Get re-centered. Deep breath out. I'm going to come to the top of the mat. You can meet me there. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, forward fold. On your inhale, lengthen your spine. Get long through the vertebrae and then step back into a high plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists. For today, drop the knees down. Lower the heart and the chest. Keep the sit bones high. Inhale, sweep into a cobra pose, soft bend in the elbows. Exhale, press back into a child's pose. And then from here, undulate forward and press back, downward dog. Inhale, right foot high. Exhale, step that right foot forward, spin the left foot flat. Rise up, warrior two. We'll check our alignment here, making sure the right knee is over the right ankle. Pinky toe edge of the left foot is grounded into the mat. Shoulders are dropped down and away from the ears. Gaze is over the right fingertips. And then breathe. Flip the right palm open to the sky, reach forward, and then take all of that length into a reverse warrior. Right arm reaches over to the left. Left hand rests lightly with little or no weight in that hand. And we stay deep in our lunge, so we don't rise up out of that lunge, but instead sink down, stay low. Inhale, come back through warrior two, and let's straighten the right leg. On an exhale, moving into triangle pose, reach the right arm forward, reach, reach, reach. And when you can't go any farther, drop the right hand down to the floor, the shin, or a block. Left hand reaches up to the sky. And think of stacking the left shoulder directly on top of the right. Pull the left shoulder back in space. Right shoulder moving forward. Extend through the left side body. Give yourself the time to be here and receive the benefits of this pose. Lower your gaze down to the earth. Drop the left hand. Place one hand on each side of the right foot. Heel toe the back foot in, a couple of footprints. And we'll come into a revolved triangle pose. For this posture, you can leave the left hand right where it is and begin to extend right arm up to the sky. And here's another place where you can stack the shoulders. So notice one shoulder directly on top of the other. For most of us, that's going to mean pulling the right shoulder back in space. If you feel really stable here, you can take that left hand to the outside of the right foot. And then we'll lower the right hand and we'll fold forward into our pyramid pose. See how much you can let go of the upper body. If the right hamstring is really tight, feel free to take some blocks and place those under the hands. Take a few deep breaths to help the body release. There's a quote that's attributed to Buddha that says, "No one outside ourselves can rule us inwardly. When we know this, we become free." So here on the mat, we practice that inward awareness and self-control. We practice being present and calm. On your inhale, gaze forward, bend the right knee, come onto the left toes. On an inhale, sweep the right arm up to the sky for an easy twist. We'll heel toe that right foot to the edge of the mat. Point the right toes off to the right. Drop the hips down. On an inhale, lift the hips, sweep the right arm up and overhead. Exhale, drop the hips, right arm reaches to the back of the mat. And again, inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower the hips, reach the right hand. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Stay here, take an extra breath, and then we'll come back into our plank pose. From here, let's flow through a chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in, and big breath out. On your next inhale, reach the left toes up to the sky. And as you exhale, step that left foot forward. Spin the right foot flat and rise up for warrior two. Gaze out over the left fingertips. Stay here. Take a few deep breaths and sink into the pose. Seek out the challenge rather than seeking out what's always the most comfortable. Seek out what serves you the most. Flip the front palm, and as you exhale, come into reverse warrior. Right hand rests lightly on the right leg, left arm up and overhead. Breathe into the left side body. Keep sinking into the lunge. Keep your breath calm and steady as you come back into warrior two. Gaze out over the left fingertips. And let's straighten through the left leg, coming into triangle pose. Reach as far as you can and then drop the left hand down, either to the shin or a block. Right arm reaches up and overhead. Stack the shoulders one on top of the other. Gaze at your top hand. And then give yourself the time to receive the benefits of this pose. As you exhale, lower the right hand. Place one hand on each side of that left foot. Heel toe the back foot in, a couple of footprints. Square your hips. And we'll prepare for coming into our reverse triangle pose. Right hand stays grounded. On an inhale, reach the left arm up to the sky as you twist the heart open. Pull that left shoulder back so that it stacks on top of the right. And then let your gaze follow the left fingertips. If you took the variation on the other side of bringing the right hand to the outside of the left foot, you can do that here. And then we'll lower the left hand, one hand on each side of that foot. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold the torso forward, coming into pyramid pose. Release the tension from your neck and your upper body. If you used blocks on the first side, you can use the blocks here. Just place those under the palms. On your inhale, lengthen your spine, bend the left knee, come onto the ball of the right foot, and then spin under the pinky toe edge of the right foot as you heel toe the left foot over to the left. Drop the hips, and on an inhale, sweep that left arm up and overhead as you lift the hips high. Exhale to lower the hips. Inhale, left arm reaches up and over. One more time. Drop the hips down. Reach those left fingertips to the back of the mat. Strong energy even through the hands. Inhale, left arm up and over. Exhale, drop the hips and stay here. Take a breath. Let it go. On your inhale, replace the left palm, step the left foot back, come into plank pose, lower through chaturanga, inhale upward dog, and exhale downward facing dog. Receive a deep breath in and let it go. What stands between you and your freedom? Where can you let go of resistance? Where can you minimize the struggle that you create in your own mind? Let it go here on your mat with a deep breath in and a deeper breath out. Let's lower down to our hands and knees. And then sink the hips back toward the heels. Come into a child's pose. Just let go. Surrender. On your next breath in, come onto your hands and knees into a tabletop pose. Extend the right leg to the height of the hip. Pull the core into the belly and then extend the left arm forward. So left arm reaches, right leg reaches. Bend the right knee, reach back, clasp the inside of that foot with your left hand. Keep the heart beaming forward. Feel that you're filling up the heart space with brilliant, bright light. And then we'll lower that right knee behind the left, sit back onto the sit bones, coming into Gaumugasana, flex the feet, fold the torso forward over the legs. Let's take several deep, full breaths here. On an inhale, begin to walk yourself back up, sitting up tall. Come back onto your hands, uncross the legs, and find yourself in a tabletop pose. Shift the hips in a circle to the left and come all the way around, taking a few big circles, one direction and then the other. And then come back to your tabletop position. On an inhale, let's extend the left leg behind us. Raise that heel to the height of the hip. Engage the core. Reach the right arm forward and feel the lengthening process As that left heel pulls back, right hand reaches forward, crown of the head reaches forward. Reach around behind you with that right hand and clasp the inside of the left ankle. Use the traction between the hand and the foot to open through your heart space. And now lower that left knee down behind the right. Come into Gaumugasana, flexing the feet, bringing the feet into a straight line with one another. Keeping the spine long, begin to walk your hands forward. Release the chin to the chest and soften through the entire upper body. On your next inhale, begin to walk yourself back up. Sit up tall, and then find yourself coming onto your sit bones. Release the legs in front of you. And I'm going to turn sideways on the mat. You can turn sideways or feel free to stay as you are. Let's separate the legs into a straddle pose. So there's no need to push to any crazy edge here. Just go until you feel sensation in the inner thighs. You can point or flex the feet, your choice. Keeping the torso long, walk yourself forward, pause, take a couple of breaths, and then relax the forehead onto a block or the earth. We'll stay here for several breaths. Use each exhalation as an opportunity to let go. On your next inhale, gently begin to walk yourself back up to a tall seat. If you're using a block, just set that off to the side. Keep the legs as they are. Walk the right arm out to the right, and inhale, sweep the left arm up and overhead, coming into a side stretch. Breathe into the left side waist. And then let's simply change the sides. Drop the left hand down to the left and sweep the right arm up and overhead. On your inhale, rise up back to center. And softly, sensitively bend the knees. Let's come into a comfortable seated pose. And now let's take a little neck stretch. Let's slide the left hand, palm down under the left glute. Press that palm firmly into the earth. And then drop the right ear over to the right. You should feel a nice stretch through the left side of the neck. Reach around with that right hand and gently encourage the head to move just another inch over to the right. On your next inhale, release the right hand, bring the head back to center, slide the left palm out, and let's change sides. Point the right fingertips in toward the body, palm facing down, slide that hand under the right sit bone. Begin to drop left ear over to the left shoulder, and then reach around with the left hand. Guide the head over to the left just another inch, just a soft, gentle pressure, encouraging the stretch through the right side of the neck. So often we get constricted in our neck, so this is a great stretch for you to do, not just here on your mat, but even throughout your day when you're feeling tension. Just take a minute or two, do this stretch and feel how much lighter and less constricted you are. And softly release. Slide the right palm out. Just feel how the neck releases with just that one simple stretch. And just drop one ear toward the shoulder, and then the other ear to the shoulder. And then bring the head back to center. Let's take one more side body stretch here. We're going to come on to the right side of the body, almost like you're at the beach. You're resting on the right elbow with the shoulder directly on top of the elbow. And notice that the hips are stacked on top of one another. And you can begin to straighten the right arm. And if you're not feeling any side stretch in the body, I want you to walk the right hand closer and closer to the torso. Eventually, you should feel a nice stretch through the right side body. It's really important in this position to keep the hips stacked. You'll notice that they either want to fall backward or shift forward. But if you stack the hips right on top of one another, you're more likely to feel this nice opening through the right side body. And since we just released the neck, just keep it soft here, releasing right ear to the shoulder. And then we're simply going to change sides. So come on to the left hip. Take a moment to set yourself up here, stacking the hips on top of one another. Once you have that hip stack, make your way onto the left palm. You can walk that left palm in an inch at a time until you feel this nice opening through the left side of the body. And then drop the ear to the shoulder. Just take a few breaths. And now let's softly begin to make our way out of the pose. Just walk yourself up. Spin around onto the sit bones. And make your way all the way down onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest. Gently massage out the spine. Clasp the insides of the feet for happy baby. Babies are happy, they move, they rock, so let yourself rock side to side before finding a breath of stillness right in the center. And then release the feet down to the earth. Extend the legs long. Open the hands, palms facing up. And let's make our way into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Really, this is the most important pose of your practice. It's the place where we can practice presence without moving, without being in a state of doing. We can just be conscious, aware, alert, and relaxed. This is when we train the nervous system. So rest here. Take a moment to notice the space you've created within your body, within your breath, and within your mind. Notice the freedom in just being here. Know that freedom isn't something we have to chase. It's an internal state that we uncover when we let go, when we release the tension, the expectation, the thoughts that try to hold us back. So just rest here in this freedom. On your next breath in, begin to deepen the breath. Allow the depth of breath to move through the body, creating some gentle movement. Maybe circle the wrists or reach the arms overhead for a full body stretch. And then as you're ready, bend your knees, roll over to your right side. Press into the palms to bring yourself up to a seat, letting the head be the last thing to come into place. Come into a comfortable seat with the spine tall, eyes closed. Just be still for another breath. Notice the calmness of your body. There's a Chinese proverb that says, tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. Let's take a deep breath in together. Open your mouth, exhale, let it go. Draw your hands to your heart center. Take a moment to bow inwardly to the teacher within you. The teacher in me acknowledges that teacher within you, and I humbly bow to each one of you. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Namaste.